So Adam, a 2-0 defeat, just what your thoughts on the game first?
Incredibly disappointed with our performance today. I thought first half we were miles off it, absolutely miles off it all over the pitch. Our press wasn't right, it wasn't aggressive enough. I don't think we worked hard enough, which that's the thing that really hurts me the most, because we're not good enough to not try and outwork teams, and that's something that I won't be associated with. Didn't like how passive we were, easy to play against, and we've conceded 2 really poor goals again. They were worthy of being ahead at half time because they were by far the better team in that first half. Second half we came out, we had a go, we just became a lot more competitive, worked harder, pressed higher, landed on more second balls, created a few moments of uncertainty in their back line, and we felt that even for as poor as we were at half time in the first half, we felt that if we could nick a goal, then the game could change, and we obviously won the penalty, and you could sense the nervousness just through us winning a penalty. And I think if that had gone in, we'd have probably had a good chance of maybe getting something out of the game, but obviously we've missed another one. And from there on in, really, we kind of huffed and puffed and had 1 or 2 other, half decent chances. But listen, they deserve to win today, and it's going to be a long old way home for us mulling that over.
Yeah, as you say, Sutton got off to a much better start, plenty of chances early on and threatened from set pieces, and then obviously 2-0 down at the break.
Yeah, we were a shambles in that first half. I was scratching my head at times, wondering what I was watching. We were, as I said earlier, passive. Question the work ethic, which is not something I think I've ever done before with this group, but I certainly do today. We weren't as organised as we usually are. We were all over the place from second phase off set plays. Just really struggled to put my finger on it because we've had a decent week this week. We've done all of our preparation as we usually do. We've travelled right. Lads looked focused and sharp before the game, but then we've just not come out the blocks at all in that first half, and it's took us, getting into them all at half time to get a reaction really. And in the second half, I felt that they did give everything and they pushed and they tried. But that's the least I expect. They're not going to get pats on the back off me for trying. That's what they're paid to do, is work hard and give it your all every day. And yeah, we were just off it, and they deservedly won the game.
Of course, obviously in the first half as well, made a couple of changes with Dylan Crowe getting another knock.
Yeah, I mean, flipping. I'm gutted for Dylan. I mean, we'll have to see how it probably settles down in the next 24, 48 hours, but it's his ankle. So it's completely unrelated injury to obviously the one that he's just returning from, but he's got a boot on in there, and he's in a bit of pain, so we're going to have to see how that settles down. But to be fair, we were going to make a couple of changes anyway at half time because I'd seen enough, and that just enabled us to, not just make the one enforced one, but obviously make a couple, and so we did, and I do think we were better for doing that. But we shouldn't be needing to change system and make substitutions after 40 minutes for people to get a kick up the arse. Like, do your jobs, work hard. That's all we expect. I accept and understand that losing is part of football, but there's a way to lose, and that's not the way.
And of course, obviously, the second half was the talking point, missing yet another penalty.
Yeah, listen, it's ridiculous, really. I think is that now 5 or 6 we've missed, and I think it's 4 or 5 different takers. So it's just unbelievable, really. I mean, we're in November and we've don't know how many penalties we've scored. Not many, and obviously we've missed 5, 6. You think where we will be if we scored them. But look, it's on me again, Sean. I mean, he's took a few in training. He's cool as a cucumber. He's probably outside of Jono, he's our most experienced player. He's technically very, very capable, and he backs himself, and I back him because he's been one of our better performers in recent games. There's no way that their keeper, knows where he's going, because I don't think he's taken many penalties in the past, so they won't have done any research or homework on Sean Hobson's penalties. The keeper's just probably read his body shape and made a good save, and that again was probably a big moment in the game for us, because as I said, if that goes in and it's 2-1, we're right back in it, and there's a long time on the clock, and we were kind of growing into the game, getting on top at that point. So would we, if we'd have scored it, would we have conjured something out of the game? Quite possibly. Did we deserve to? Probably not.
Of course, one of the good points from today was seeing Will Smith back out onto the pitch today.
Absolutely, yeah. Yeah, and we need more people like Will Smith. The sooner we can get the likes of him back, the better, because at times in that first half it was a little bit men v Boise, and he's a man, and Max Wright's close to coming back now, and he's another man. We missed Josh Amami today, another man. These are big players for us, and for us to get Will back out there on the pitch, and for him to be back in the time frame he is, considering the severity of his injury, I think he should take great credit for that, because he's a brilliant professional. He's the first in the building every single day. He does his gym work. He works hard. Like he's rehab. He's been really committed and driven and focused to get back to this point. And probably if we had more numbers available, we probably wouldn't have brought him with us today. But he's played 60 minutes in an in-house game on Tuesday and come through that fine. He's been training now fully for probably the best part of 2 months. And yeah, there was an opportunity there to just get him some minutes, and that's only good for building him up. And as I said, as soon as we can get him back where he's able to start games, that'll only make us stronger. And we do need to tighten up defensively, because I'm far from happy with the number of goals that we're conceding, but just the ease of them, and I think we eradicate that a little bit if we get somebody like Will available in that back line.
Of course, now obviously a week back on the training ground before it's a tough game against Solihull Moors next Saturday.
Yeah, just the next game. Probably people want me to give like a more glamorous reaction to that. Obviously, with Chris coming back, but it is just the next game, and we need to win it, because we're obviously in poor form at the minute. We've had many a week where we've been in great form, and had the long runs where we've only lost one in 12, 13, 14 games. But now we're in a patch where we're losing games, and that's not something that we obviously want to continue. So it's important we have a good week. It's important that everybody trains well, because we've got a lot of thinking to do now about how we're going to approach that game, and maybe some of these lads need to come out the team. Maybe we've left some of them in for longer than maybe we should have done. There's a hell of a lot of things for us to think about now. Certainly not panic stations by any stretch of the imagination, and we haven't become a poor team overnight. But I weren't happy with what I saw today, and I've got to think about that going into what will be a difficult game next week.
Thank you.